Enroll your child for the Manifested e-learning platform and see their grades grow tremendously. These videos can be downloaded to a laptop for offline viewing or viewed from a smartphone in a cost-friendly format.
Hello learners, and welcome to the platform. It's always a pleasure to have you at Manifested e-learning forum. Today we want to continue with the topic business and its environment. We've done business. Now we want to consider the part of the topic environment, business environment. So that's the subtopic, and the subject is business studies form 1. Business studies form 1. The topic is business and its environment. This is a continuation. Business and its environment. So our today's focus is on environment, because in the last 2 lessons we defined what a business is. Then we analyzed various business activities with the categories. We categorized business activities, and we gave the different types of business activities. Today, our focus is on business environment. Business environment. Those are 2 terms, business and environment. We know what business means, and an environment, learners, it can be defined as anything that surrounds a system. An environment is anything that surrounds a system. Business environment, therefore, refers to the factors which surround and influence a business. Factors or conditions which surround and influence a business. And these factors affect the decisions, strategies, processes, and the overall performance of a business. Learners, all businesses are affected by the environments in which they operate. Every business operates in an environment, and every business is affected by the factors, these conditions. So learners, these environments may be little or they may be great, okay? They may have a little or great effect or influence on the operations of a business. Okay, is that clear? Learners, again, it is important to understand that as a business operates, remember we said the purpose of a business is to make profit. Other than seeking to make profit, a business should also seek to grow and to survive, okay? Other than just profit, making profit. Other than just making profit, a business should seek to grow and survive. And do what? And survive. Other than making profit, a business should also seek to grow. Now, growth, learners, is seen in terms of the size. Growth is seen in terms of the size of the business, the output. Okay? How do you know a business is growing? If that business is increasing in size, for example, if the business year 1 had 1 employee, then after 1 year it has 5 employees. After 10 years, it has 1,000 employees. That will tell you the business is growing. You can also know a business is growing by output, products. If it is a farming business that farms, okay, and it is been producing, say, 5 bags of beans per year, that is output, 5 bags of beans. Then after 2 years, the business harvests 200 bags per year. That is growth. The business, you can say, is growing because of the increase in output. You can also tell a business is growing by looking at the sales volume. Sales volume. The volume of sales. The volume of sales. If a business has been selling, say, 300 kilograms per month, that's the volume. Then after 1 year, the business sells 1,000 kilograms per month. Then you can say the business is growing. So we can say that growth is seen in terms of size, output, and sales volume. How about survival? Survival, on the other hand, learners, is seen in terms of stability. Survival is seen in terms of stability. From the word stable. Is the business stable? So survival is seen in terms of stability, which results in continuity. This stability results in continuity of the business over a long period of time. Okay? So a business, learners, should also seek to survive, and by survival, it means that the business should be stable, and by stable we mean the business should be able to operate for a long period of time, over a long period of time. So a business should seek to make profit. It should also seek to grow, and also should seek for stability. Now, learners, a business, again, needs to achieve some level of activity for it to grow and survive. For a business to grow and survive, it needs to achieve certain level of activity. And many factors affect the level of activities of a business. There are many factors. There are many conditions, okay, which affect the growth or the survival of a business. I want you to understand that point. The growth and survival of a business is determined by many factors. All right? And these factors can be categorized into 2. Namely, the internal environment and external environment. All right? Our subtopic, I said, is business environment. So the internal factors and external factors, or internal conditions or external conditions, is what you are referring to as business environment. So business environment can be categorized into 2. That is the internal business environment and external business environment. That's what we want to study in this lesson and the next lesson. Business environment. Business environment can be categorized into 2. Internal environment and external environment. Internal environment, these are factors that are internal or within the business. External environment, these are factors that are outside. But both internal environment and external environment affects either the growth or the survival of a business. So we want first to discuss internal environment, internal business environment, internal business environment, internal business environment, right? Internal business environment. Now, this internal business environment comprises factors within the business that affect its operations. Factors within the business, factors or conditions within the business which affects its environment. These factors can be controlled fully by the enterprise or the business to its advantage. They can be controlled to its advantage. But if the business does not do that, then these factors can also adversely affect the business. Okay? Now, the internal environment is mainly influenced by the culture of the business. Culture of the business mainly is influenced mainly by the culture of the business. By culture, we mean the beliefs and values that are held by the owners of the business, together with the managers of the business, including the employees of the business. So the culture, the beliefs of the owners and managers plus employees determines the business environment mainly. So the culture determines learners how things are done and hence how the business responds to various factors that affect it. Belief. Okay, we are talking about beliefs. Mainly, internal environment is affected by beliefs of the owners of the business, those who manage the business, and the employees of the business. So the success of the business depends on how these factors are directed at achieving the goals of the business. We are going to discuss these factors, but we are saying the factors that we are going to discuss are determined or can be used either to the advantage or to the disadvantage of the business, depending on the belief system of the owners, the employees, and the managers. All right? It's important to understand. Okay, we are talking about internal business environment. We have said that the success of the business depends on internal factors, depends on these factors and how they are directed towards achieving the goals of the business. Now, we are going to discuss these factors, various factors, internal business environment. So we want to discuss these factors. That is, the first one is objectives of the business. The objectives of the business. That's the first one. Objectives of the business. Objectives of the business. The objectives. These are the targets. These are the goals that are set by the owners or the managers of the business that are expected to be achieved. Okay? internal business environment. This is an internal factor. The targets, objectives are targets, objectives are purposes, objectives are goals, objectives are intentions. These are the targets that the business sets and expects to achieve. So the objectives of the business can be affected by, or they can be influenced by, the strategies of the business. These objectives can be affected by two things: the strategies of the business, and the resources that are required. Now, a strategy is a plan, learners, is a plan, or we can say is a plan of action which a business intends to follow so as to achieve the objectives. And this plan ensures that actions are taken. Okay, this plan or this plan of action, we are saying is a strategy is a plan of action. This plan of action ensures that the business provides its customers with the highest quality of goods and services at the best prices, and relates well with employees, suppliers, the government, and so on. So the strategies, we are saying, for the company to or the business to achieve its objectives, then there has to be a plan of action. This plan of action focuses on the quality of the business, the products or services, quality of the services. Also looks into matters to do with the prices, because if the prices are too high, then the customers may not buy the goods. The plan of action also should focus on the way the business treats its customers. It's called customer care. Again, another category of people that also should be considered are the employees, because employees play a major role in ensuring that the objectives of the company are met. Employees, including suppliers. The suppliers ought to be paid on time. The government should also be paid taxes in time, and so on. So objectives, we are talking about strategies and resources. So there has to be proper objectives. If objectives are not properly set, then the business growth and survival will not be achieved. The objectives will not be achieved. So it's an internal environment. We say that internal environment are factors which are within the control of the business. The business can set good objectives or not. It's upon the company or the business to decide whether they are going to have objectives or not. So these objectives can be used to the advantage of the business. Then we have resources that are required. All right? Now, by studying the objectives, by studying or looking at the objectives that are set or the strategy that are set, business can determine the resources that are required. Because when you come up with a plan, then based on this plan, you need to allocate resources to ensure that the plans are met. The plans are actualized. Because if you are talking of having products of good quality, then you need, for example, to allocate resources to buy machines that will ensure that products that are produced are products of high quality. Because the better the machine, the better the goods that will be produced. So by looking at or studying the strategies and the objectives, business can determine the resources required for its effective operation. And I've given an example for machines. We can also say money and physical facilities will also be other physical facilities will be required. Okay. Again, it will also it can also determine the staff that are required to achieve the objectives. So to hire qualified staff, you need money, you need resources. Even the staff, without the money, the staff, the workers, the employees are also part of the resources. We call them human resource. Okay? These objectives will determine what kind of human resource you need so as to meet the objectives. Okay? So it's important for you to understand that point, objectives. Okay? So I mentioned various groups: employees, the workers, the suppliers, and the government. Now, to satisfy the various groups of people that are involved, there must be a clear objectives. So there has to be clear objectives for the business to satisfy the needs of the employees, the suppliers, the government, and the customers. There has to be a clear plan, clear objectives. A business organization will only survive and grow if it has clear objectives. Okay, that is a very important point. This is an important internal factor. Then next, the second factor, management policies. Management policies is another factor that influences the business. Now, a policy, learners, is simply a guideline. This is a guideline on how the management wants to run the business. Policies can be in relation to the owners. There can be policies in relation to employees, guidelines on how employees will operate, or matters relating to employees, suppliers, customers, and so on. So a policy is just a course of action or a guideline for achieving the set objectives, which is adopted by a business. And these policies are set by the management. So it is an established way of doing things in a business. Now, the policies adopted by the business may boost or hinder growth or survival of the business. And I can give an example of the management of a business that may decide that workers will not be allowed to join trade unions. Okay? This will make the workers feel locked out of certain decisions, and it may bring tension in the business. It may demotivate the employees, and that will interfere with the performance of the employees and the general efficiency of the company. So coming up with a policy that employees will not be allowed to join trade unions, that is a policy that may affect the performance of the business. Or coming up with a policy that allows employees to join trade unions, that will motivate the employees. So that is just an example of a business policy and how it may affect the operations of the firm. So then we can have another point, that is another factor. We can call it management style. Management style. Management style. The style of management. How managers manage or run the business. Management style refers to how managers conduct daily operations of a business. This determines how workers relate with their managers. So some managers may adopt what we call a participative style or participative approach. That means they allow workers to give their views on how things should be done. Other managers choose to make all the decisions without considering the opinions or the input of the workers. So that those are just two different types of management style. There is that style where management have a participative approach. Before they make a decision, they involve employees, they seek for employees' input on how certain things may be done in the business. Other managers do not consult employees at all. They make all the decisions and they expect the employees to implement the decisions. Okay, so those are just two styles of management. There are other styles, but those are the common styles. Now, the style adopted by management influences the workers' performance either positively or negatively. Okay, and that affects the overall performance of the business. There are certain employees who would want to participate in decision making. So when they are not involved, then that will negatively affect their performance and consequently affecting the general performance of the business, either growth of the business or the survival of the business. So learners, these are three factors, okay? Internal factors. We've discussed three in this lesson. There are more factors which we are going to discuss in our next lesson. For today, we will stop at that. Just to recap, we introduced the subtopic business environment. We've defined business environment. We've said that business environment can be categorized into two, the internal business environment and the external business environment. And we've gone ahead to discuss three factors or conditions that fall under internal business environment. In our next lesson, we will continue with the other factors. For now, we will take a break. And before that, I'm going to give you, before we stop, I'll give you an assignment. Go through the video, write notes, then do this assignment. We are going to define these terms. Define a business environment. B, strategies, and C, I want you to define objectives. Go through the video, go through your notes, then without looking at your notes, please see if you can define these terms. Thank you and God bless you.
CPA students can now access top-notch lecturers anytime from anywhere. Download CPA video lectures from www.manifestedpublishers.com.
Manifested Publishers Limited is a research and teaching center that specializes in the production of learning materials and private online tuition for primary, secondary, tertiary, and university education. Sign up as a new customer at www.manifestedpublishers.com. Fill in the required credentials, full name, email, phone number, and password. Click on Sign Up. Enter the code received on your phone or email address for verification of your account, then proceed by clicking on Confirm button. Your account is ready for use and you can watch some free videos before you purchase. To get access to complete videos, use the following steps to buy. Click on View All Courses. Select the course you want to subscribe to. Click on the subject you want. Click on Buy this subject. The selected subject will be added to cart. Place or hover the cursor on cut or total amount and click on checkout now to proceed. Click on Lipa na M-Pesa and proceed to pay. To access your lessons, place the cursor on your name, then click on subscriptions. To download videos for offline studying, click on Watch Offline. Download the Manifested e-learning desktop application depending on your computer operating system. Install the application on your computer. Sign in on your downloaded app using the credential used during registration. Place your cursor on your name, then click on Subscriptions. Click on the subject you purchased. On the top right window, click on Download for offline viewing. Click on Go to Course. In your new window, click on the first topic, Lesson 1. Downloading process begins automatically. Thank you for choosing to study with us. For more information, you can call us on 0724 173845.